So good morning and welcome to today's lesson. Today we are focusing on topic 6, which I have interchanged it with topic 7. Topic 6 talks about writing skills. And when you look at writing skills, it is enormous. It is something that requires a lot of work and a lot of writing. So that particular topic, I've left it like that. So I've gone to topic 7 and I've made it topic 6. Topic 7 talks about reading skills. So after the cut, we will do the topic 7. Topic 7, which will be now writing skills. And this is where we are going to look at how do you write an application letter, how do you write a report, how do you write minutes, and so on and so on, and so on and so forth. Munyoti, you are making noise for us. Switch off your microphone. Kuna mtu nitafukuza tu hapa nje na mimi sitaongea. I will not tell you to switch off your microphone again. I will just throw you out. You just find yourself out of the class, simply because simple instructions such as switch off your microphone is becoming a very big thing for you on your side. Now I'm saying that this topic that we are supposed to cover today, which is writing skills, we will cover it after cut 1. After cut 1, which will take place next week. So next week we are having cut 1, and that cut, I will tell you the time that it will start. I will tell you the time the cut will start. So prepare yourself for cut 1 next week. So next week utakuwa online, lakini utakuwa unafanya cut 1. That is it. You'll be doing cut 1. So prepare yourself for cut 1 next week. Last week you did what we call assignment 1. I can see 142 people have already done assignment 1. 142 people have already done assignment 1, which is a very good thing. If you tried to attempt the assignment and you failed to complete the assignment, this is a system, and this system works this way. If you're not ready to do the assignment, don't click on it, because it will submit a blank page and it will give you a red X. So unafanya hiyo cut saa zile uko ready. Don't open the assignment with 2 gadgets. Umefungua assignment na laptop, na hapa kwingine umefungua assignment na simu. That assignment will not, it might bring about what we call confusion, and you might find yourself not doing that particular assignment. Excuse me. So I think what I was saying is this, that we are able to do our assignment 1, and next week we'll be doing cut 1, and that cut will be timed. It will be timed. Itapewa specific time. Tuseme kwa mfano utaanza saa 4:30 ama saa 3. Itamaanisha ya kwamba hiyo cut utaifanya na 1 hour. Usipokuwa umeifanya na 1 hour, please don't, usisumbue watu. Stop disturbing others, including lecturers. That is your fault, because I will communicate. Actually, that CAT, you will start it at 9:30. Hiyo CAT itaanza 9:30 hadi 10:30. Ukikuja saa 5 ama masaa kabla kama imepita, forget about that CAT. Forget about that CAT completely. And we proceed ahead. So that is it. Next week, we are having CAT 1, and that CAT will start exactly at 9:30. So you have time. Those who usually attend classes late, or those who join classes late, you have time to join the class late, and you also have time to do the assignment. Not the assignment, but the CAT. So next week, you're having CAT 1. So the moment you get to the portal, you'll find CAT 1 at 9:30. Do that CAT, finish it, and submit it. And this CAT will only allow you to do what? It will only allow you to type your answer, not to type your answer, to write your answers down on a piece of paper. You take a photograph of that paper, and then you upload that photograph on the portal. That is all about that particular assignment. Kama kuna swali, tafadhali niulizwe saa hii. Hauta type na hauta copy paste. There is no copy pasting and there is no typing. The CAT will be written down on a piece of paper or on a book. Then you are going to take a photograph of what you have written down, and then you are going to upload that photograph on the portal. That one will be your will be your CAT 1. So kama kuna swali, tafadhali niulizwe. Sianze kuniuliza maswali saa zile CAT ni leo, kesho ndio. CAT ni kesho, anza kuniuliza maswali mingi. Kuna watu wako na tatizo kama hii.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
Quick one, Mr. Minor. There's the last time I did I attempted an upload, but it said that when you've just even uploaded one paper, it's automatically, you can't upload a new one. So assume you've given me a CAT, then the paper was not enough. Then I've taken it to another paper. How do I go about it? Because when the last time I uploaded one, it couldn't allow for the next page.
It is so simple. You combine the document to be one. When you are combining the document, or when you are doing what we call, I think there is a software that you can combine the document to be one. There is an application. You can combine the document to be one. If there are even 3 documents, you can combine them to be one, and then you upload it as one document.
I think I don't have the clarity on how to combine it. Maybe if I may request, because this is a CAT, it's a serious assignment that it needs a serious approach. So, like, how do I exactly do that? Because I didn't attend that lesson, the orientation, how you do such combining into P1 as you are saying.
On the contrary, you have to make your CAT as brief as possible to fit at least 1 page. That's another idea. You can make your CAT as brief as possible to fit 1 page. That's another idea. Or those who are used to using those, there are various softwares that you can use to combine a document to be one. I believe there are people who knows that. So that's another thing. Is it becoming more complicated?
Yeah, I think.
Is it becoming more complicated?
Excuse me, Mr. Maina.
Yes, unajua tujaanza class. So kama uko na swali tafadhali uliza haraka iwezekanavyo.
To me,
yes,
I think it's more complicated since we are doing all that in 1 hour.
It is not complicated because at least you have 1 hour. Any other question? Any other question? Kuna watu wanapenda kuongea kwa WhatsApp, lakini wakiulizwa swali hapa hawataki kuongea. But pale kwa WhatsApp, you are talking a lot of things that are making me wonder, was this person in class or not? So you have been given an opportunity to ask a question. Just go ahead and ask a question. Huh? Na wale wanaandika hapo chini, tafadhali tuzoee kutumia microphone. Kuna vitu zingine hata vinakuwa ngumu kwa mwalimu kusoma.
Mr. Maina, umesema softwares ni gani zenye tunaweza tumia kucombine?
I think there is one called is it called what? Clear what? Clear Scanner. If you write something on the Google Play Store, Clear Scanner, that is another one. You can use it to combine some documents.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Is there any question? Now I can proceed with my teaching. Can I proceed? Watu wameshtuka kwa sababu kuna CAT next week. That is part of learning. You have to do a CAT. How do we evaluate that? You understood? Now this one is saying I forgot to do the assignment. By the time I was doing, I found it had closed. This is a person who doesn't attend classes. How come? You have been given a whole week to do an assignment, and now you're telling me you are not able to do the assignment. Now, usipofanya assignment na CAT, you're just going to get zeros. Just know that. Hakuna option ingine. That's why I'm reminding you well in advance that next week you are having CAT 1, so that you prepare to miss that CAT. So that you will not say that I didn't know. I have communicated, and I will communicate at the end of this particular class that we have a CAT next week, and it will start at 9:30. Now, if you forget to do that CAT, remember your zeros are increasing, and by the end of the semester, you'll have nothing to show as coursework. And you know what that means? It means you retake the unit, go back to class, do the unit again. That's what it will mean. That's why I am insisting and I'm taking time to explain to you that you're supposed to do your CATs and assignments. I'm taking a lot of time to explain that. And all your CATs and assignments are done online. So if you forget to do the assignment and the CAT, me, I cannot help you. What we are going to do is that we are going to wait at least the end of the semester coursework results. Pompuga, Juma, and Vincent, you are making noise for us. Unless you want to be thrown out.
Just a quick one. I'm sorry, just a quick one. I was on a point, but accidentally I broke my net, there was a breakage in my internet. So I don't know how you've explained the upload, how we are going to upload it, because I told you, like I raised my issue, I had an issue before. So have you explained it? Have you clarified on the same?
About how you're going to upload your assignment?
Yeah, about the photo, taking a picture, then you upload. So I was raising an issue on in a scenario whereby you have an item of, let's say, 2 pages.
That one we handle it. And I said, if you have 2 pages, number one, there are 2 things you can do. You can minimize your assignment to fit 1 page, or number 2, you can have a software. I've talked about a clear scanner. A clear scanner can combine what we call those 2 assignments or even 3 or even 4 to be 1 document, and then you can upload it as a document. It's as simple as that.
No, just a humble in play, Mr. Maina. You know, we are coming from different, we are using different gadgets and coming from different backgrounds. Can't you just make it, try to make it a bit flexible? You know, this one is, it's becoming now a bit complex, so that it accommodates all of us. Because when you talk of scanners, like personally, I can't manage that scanner. Even my phone does have the meaning. I cannot even update it on my phone. I've tried it before, it doesn't work.
Now, what do we do? What do you want me to do? Sincerely speaking, your phone, your gadget cannot do anything. So what are we going to do? The only thing that I can help you is this. Number one, before you start e-learning classes, you're supposed to be ready for learning. Number one, you must have all the gadgets that are required and the gadgets that are accommodating things like some application like Zoom. Like, for example, this is Zoom class, and I believe you're using your phone. There are some phones that doesn't take in Zoom application. So if you're having such a gadget, then that gadget is not going to help you. We need to have gadgets that are accommodating some application. That is simply an application that I've told you. Like, for example, if you use a clear scanner, that is, you're going to get it in Google Store, Google App Store. It is there. I'm just giving you an example. If you take photographs using your phone, you can edit them using a clear scanner, and you can combine those documents. You can even make it to be a PDF document once you upload it. And then you can, once you have taken a photograph of those particular photographs, or maybe those particular documents. As simple as that. I'm just giving an example. As far as it is concerned, that particular assignment, you can still do this. Make your assignment to be as short as possible. You don't have to write 3 pages for you to get 15 marks. There is somebody who will write a whole page, only 1 document, and he will get 15 out of 15. And there is a person who will write 4 pages and will get 3 out of 15. So it's all about how you're going to approach that particular question, because the cut is out of 15 marks. So if you missed the first assignment and you missed this other one accidentally, then you have 0 out of 20. So how many marks are remaining at the end of the semester? They are remaining how many? 20 marks. So utakuwa umebakisha 20 marks na ile ya exam. Ukimiss all the assignments, you retake the unit. It's as simple as that. That's why I'm taking my time to explain about assignments and cuts. Some of us don't even attend classes. Some of us, they are very inactive completely. They don't even ask questions. When you're given an opportunity to ask a question, ask a question. So mimi nimesha kuambia, and the session is being recorded. So if you say that you are not told, I'll be able to remove to retrieve this particular record. So any other question? I hope I've answered you.
Excuse me, Mr. Maina.
Yes, Michelle.
I wanted to ask you if in the card you will be putting each question with a place to upload, or it will be all questions in one place of uploading.
I can decide to do I can decide to give assignments on I have 2 options or various options. I can decide to give you question and answer assignment where you pick answers. I can also decide to give you an application question where you'll be required to upload. I can decide to give you anything. Tumeelewana? Inaweza amua kukupatia
Yes.
question and answer. Mahali unasoma swali, una click answer na tunaendelea. Na ninaweza amua kukupatia swali ambayo ni block. You just, it's an essay question. You read and you type your answer somewhere and you upload it.
Yes. Thank you.
So that discretion lies with me. Anyway, I know what I'm going to do, but just know that next week you're going to have an assignment, a cat one. So today, let's start our class. I hope that one is clarified, and I'm also trying to rush. And today we have a visitor who will be joining me late after what? After class, after I'm done teaching, the visitor will be joining you late. So today I want us to look at reading skills, and somebody can define for us what is reading. What is reading? Jane Ngige, what is reading? What is reading? Hataki kusema reading ni nini. Hata mtu kama hajui, si unasema tu haujui. You know, you are communicating. When you ask a question, you are not talking. It shows how rude you are, or how confused you are, or how disrespectful you are. And this is communication skills we are doing. It's like you're talking to somebody and he's just looking at you like this. When you're being communicated to, respond. Even if you're going to say, I have no idea. Even if you're going to say something. In fact, the reason why we ask questions as lecturers is to understand the level, how you understand things. So that if you understand things, where am I going to begin at? But you just keep quiet and you assume that you've been asked a question. You just know that you're becoming a very, very poor listener, or maybe you're becoming a very poor participant. Mwalimu hawezi kujiongelesha, lazima kukue kuna inaitwa namna gani? Kuna wewe unajibu maswali na kuuliza swali, lazima kukue na uhusiano. Lazima kukue na interactivity. You interact, and that is what we call learning, because learning is all about interactivity. Mwalimu na mwanafunzi lazima wa interact, so that mwalimu ajue mwanafunzi ameelewa na mwanafunzi ajue ya kwamba sijaelewa, something like that. But when you ask a question and you just keep quiet, you just know that you're being a rude listener, and you're also being disrespectful to all of us, not to me. It shows a very bad sign, and you're doing communication skills. So let's start our topic. Omari, can you tell us what is reading?
According to me, reading is decoding symbols to arrive at a meaning.
Decoding symbols to arrive at a meaning. Somebody else? We have Ositu. No, Ositu has said Islam Swale.
According to me, I can say that the process, probably someone acquires information from a certain reader. For example, books, smartphones.
Yes. Okay, yeah, thank you. Somebody else, somebody wanted to talk.
Can I give it a trial?
Yes.
I think it's just a way of either pronouncing either silently or loudly a word.
Thank you. Wahinya Mbogwa.
Reading refers to reciting or repeating from memory something that have been written.
Thank you. Now I think we have got the type. We have got the definition of reading, and if you don't have one, I think by the end of this topic, that is one objective. I think it's objective number one. By the end of this topic, we'll be able to know what reading is. Now, before we go to reading, the topic today, we are talking about reading skills. Before we go to exactly what reading is, let's look at types of reading. And you're going to realize that there are several types of reading. And this type of reading may occur in language classroom. So one way in this may be categorized is suggested by somebody by the name Brown, 1988, and can be outlined as follows. We have oral reading, reading it loud. Like you, there was a time I went for an interview here in Nairobi, and they were looking for a customer service representative. And in this particular interview, I think the first interview that we were given is oral. Everybody was given a piece of paper to read it loud to others. And they could, we were about 300 people. And from that, they were able to do what we call, what do you call it? They were able to sieve or maybe to do away with those people who are not very comfortable or who are not being able to pronounce the words that were written on those particular papers, because everybody was given a particular piece of paper written different, a different story or a very different paragraph, and we were to read it loud. And they were looking at how are you pronouncing these words? How are you articulating these words? Something like that. So oral reading is when you read it loud. So usione ya kwamba ati tunasoma reading, hii haiwezi kukupata hata siku moja. I'm just giving you a scenario. I went for an interview and we were told to read something loud. And they were looking at how do you pronounce the words? How are you reading them? And then from there, in Kiswahili we call it kuchujwa. Wale ambao hawakuwa wanaweza kusoma walikuwa wanachujwa. We were 300. We remained 4 out of 300. So that is it. Then there is what we call silent reading. And silent reading is when you read without pronouncing the words out loud. Like when you go to the library and you sit down, you start reading a book and making notes. That is called silent reading. You don't go to the library and you open the book and you start reading it out loud. You'll be chased out simply because you are making noise for those who are doing silent reading. The moment you get to the library, it is written silent. So there is reading and writing notes, nothing else. That is not where you go and pick phone calls. So under silent reading, we have what we call intensive. So when you go to the library, I'm assuming when we go to the library, some people go and do what we call intensive reading. And when you talk about intensive reading, it is used to teach or practice specific reading strategies or skills. Intensive reading is used to teach or practice specific reading strategies or skills. For example, lecturers, when they go to the library, the reason as to why they go to the library is to have what we call intensive reading. A lecturer does intensive reading for him to get the meaning of what he is reading, so that when he comes to class, he is able to give even examples. He's able even to give scenarios and case studies as far as what you are learning is concerned. So the text is treated as an end to itself. So let's not talk about linguistics and content. Then we have extensive reading. Extensive reading involves reading of large quantities of material. That when you go to the library, you are reading large quantities of materials. Like those people who does what we call engineering. You'll find them with very, very big books, reading very large quantities of material, directly and fluently. So it involves reading of large quantities of material directly and fluently, and it is treated as a means to an end. For example, when you talk about extensive reading, we have different types. We have skimming. Skimming simply means you are quickly going through a text to know the general meaning of a passage. A very good example is, for example, when you are looking for a definition of something, or when you go to the dictionary. What you do is skimming. Maybe you're looking for a word, quagmire. You're looking for the meaning, that word quagmire, so you want to know the meaning of that word. So the moment you open the dictionary, you are looking quickly through the text to find that particular word so that you can read the definition. That is a very good example of skimming. Skimming, you don't read everything. You are looking for a specific word. So it is getting to know the general meaning of a passage or maybe a word. Then we have scanning. Scanning, which is also part of extensive reading, involves a thorough overview of a text, only retrieving information relevant to a purpose. You get to a text and you do a thorough overview. Like, for example, when you go to the library, you want a specific book. You want to know the importance of, what the book is all about. What you do is scanning. You go through the book or you look at the table of content, what it contains, and so on and so forth. Now, it involves a thorough overview of the text, only retrieving information relevant to that particular purpose. So the first distinction that can be made is whether the reading is oral or silent. So if you're doing oral reading, you need to know whether you're doing oral reading or silent reading. So we have intensive and extensive readings, or we can actually say that intensive and extensive readings are studied under the following subsections. What it is you are looking for, how it looks, characteristics of materials, skills developed, activities, assessments, and when it is used. Now, I don't want to dwell so much on the types of reading, which we have found out to be 3, that is oral, silent, and extensive. I want us to go to the barriers to effective reading. Now, when you talk about barriers to effective reading, we are looking at those things that makes you not understand when you are reading. Number 1, we have emotional barriers. Emotional barriers. Emotional barriers are things like fear. Especially when, for example, I've told you a scenario when I went for an interview sometimes back, so many years back, and we were told to read out a text loudly in front of our interviewers and in front of those people who had come for the interview. And most of us were not able to pronounce words clearly because they had fear. Imagine it is your first time, you have never stood before a crowd of people, or it is your first time, you have never been to an interview. Of course, there must be fear. You feared being criticized or being judged. So students are often afraid of criticism. They will receive from the criticism they are going to receive from teachers, criticism that you're going to receive from parents and your fellow students. When you stand before the students and you are reading, you fear. I'm not saying that fear is bad. There is also a positive effect of fear. I was told when I was doing my communication skills that fear also is an advantage. That, for example, I'm giving a scenario. If you're told that you're going to give a speech, maybe a speech about technology, when it is the importance of technology as a means of communication. Maybe that is the speech that you're going to give, and you're going to give it in the auditorium, in the presence of the VC, the Vice Chancellor, the presence of the DVC, the presence of all the HODs, and all the academic staff. You have been prepared. Say, for example, we are talking about Kawira Brenda. You'll be the one giving us the speech. Number 1 is you're going to fear. Of course, fear must come in. And when you fear, it means that you care a lot. People who fear, they care a lot about how they look, what they will say, and whether they will offend the other person, the kind of words that they are going to use. Fear is a very good thing. There are advantages and disadvantages of fear. It means that you care so much about the person that you're going to present. But there are those people who will say, mi siogopi, mi niko sawa. Those people, they don't care so much about what they are going to say. Na tunasimama tu naanza kuongea alafu hiyo maneno ingine inafuata. No, when you fear you prepare. To do what? You prepare to speak. You prepare to read. You prepare yourself in advance to overcome that particular fear. So in other words, we are saying there are advantages of fear and there are disadvantages of fear. So fear is one of the emotional barriers to effective reading. The next one is fear of failure. You don't want to fail. Some students, rather than being afraid of criticism that comes with not succeeding, are afraid of failure itself. If a student has repeatedly experienced failure in the past, they get the idea that they will always fail and therefore do not bother trying. Kwa sababu ulifanya namna gani? Ulishindwa mara ya kwanza na mara ya pili na mara ya tatu, hutaki kujaribu mara ya nne. Maybe it is you don't like reading or something like that. So there is what we call fear of failure. You don't want to fail, and that fear of failure is the one that will become a barrier to effective reading. Fear of rejection. Some people fear being rejected. Ati mimi siwezi kaa na mtu anasoma hivyo. Besides the fear of criticism or fear of failure, some students are more afraid of rejection by their peers. The way you pronounce words, the way you read. Some people read, when they read, you run away. You feel like running away, and you will not even want to associate yourself with them. So some people fear being rejected, and so because of that, you don't like reading. So some students are even afraid that if they fail, they will not be as cool, and people will not like them as much as they have failed. That's another thing. Another reason or another barrier to effective communication is shame. Some people have shame. Wako tu na inaitwa namna gani? Wako na aibu. Hawa watu tukimwambia simama pale mbele, stand straight, look at the other person, focus on, maintain the eye contact with your audiences. These people will never maintain the eye contact. They are very shameful. This is another barrier to effective reading. Imagine you have shame, even looking at the words on the paper to read in front of others. It becomes a problem. We also have emotional sensitivity. There are people who are very emotional. When you stand in front of others and you have read a paragraph and they are clapping at you, you feel like doing what we call crying. Tears start coming out. There was another day we had what we call a class meeting, a meeting with a class, and the students were expressing themselves. And there was this kind of a student who stood up and he started expressing himself. In the process of expressing himself, this student started crying. And we were wondering, why is she crying? You see, it's all about, we want to know the problems that this class is facing. So emotional sensitivity. People are clapping at you, you have done a very good job, or people are something like that, and you find that people are very emotionally sensitive. Or maybe you are told, no, it is not read like that. It is read like cucumber. Maybe you are reading susumba or kunkumba. Then somebody tells you, no, it is not read like that. It is read cucumber. Then you feel emotionally irritated. And you become angry all of a sudden. And you say, hata sisomi hiyo. So we have emotional sensitivity, and also we have adjusting to change. Adjusting to change. Some people are very difficult when it comes to adjusting to change. Maybe you've been told this one is read like this and this one is done like this. You don't want to adopt that change of a particular reading. Then we also have what we call motivational barriers, lack of goals. You don't have, you have gone to the library. You don't know what you're going to read. Or maybe you are just seated at home. You don't know what to read. You are picking a book, throwing it, picking another one, rejecting this one, picking another one. that one means that you lack what we call motivational, or you lack what we call, you don't have a goal. For example, if you go to the library, you know exactly, I'm going to read communication skills. Once I'm done with communication skills, I'm going to read a book on health and awareness. Is it awareness? Health and awareness. Then from there, I will call it a day. But some people go to the library, they are very confused. Should I read wealth and awareness, or should I read introduction to ICT, or should I read communication skills? Which one, which topic? You don't know. That is lack of a goal. Secondly, and a motivational barrier is procrastination. Procrastination simply means you postpone things. Like you're supposed to read for an exam. You say, I'll read tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, I'll read the following day. Tomorrow, the following day comes, you postponed and postponed and postponed until it is the day to do an exam. Tomorrow you're going to do an exam. You have postponed reading until that specific day. So procrastination is a very bad thing, and it affects students mostly. It has affected me once, and I know once there was a time I was a student like you. Una postponed vitu. Na kitu moja, one thing that you must understand, during the time of exam, things happen. You are saying, I'll wake up very early very late at night, and I'll read everything. That is the time that electricity goes off. That is the time that you experienced blackout, the entire village. You try reading with the candle, it doesn't come out clearly. Something like that. So procrastination is another barrier to effective reading. The next point under motivational barriers is improperly arranged reading environment. You go to someone's reading environment, you find that the books are arranged in a very disgusting way. If you want a book, you have to. Who is that?
Nakupigia tu kelele bure.
If you make a noise, I'll put you in the waiting room and you'll be there for the rest of the class until we have we conduct another class. Ukipiga kelele, the moment you switch on your microphone, just know you are disturbing 115 listeners. The moment you switch on your microphone, you are being heard by 115 participants. So the best thing you do, switch off your microphone unless you are called upon to explain something, or maybe there is a question you want to ask. Once you switch on your microphone and I'm in the middle of explaining, what I'll do, I'll put you in the waiting room, and you will wait for, in that particular waiting room until we have another class. That is next week. So next, we are talking about motivational barriers. Number last of the motivational barriers is improperly arranged reading materials. Sometimes when you look at the way the reading material have been arranged, you feel motivated to read, or you feel demotivated to read. Like when you get to the library and you see the books have been arranged properly, you feel motivated to read. But when you see that books are all over, if you want a communication book, go to third floor or go to second floor. If you want, maybe for example, you are looking for a health and awareness book, you are told now that book, it is being searched for like 2 hours. So improperly arranged reading material, or maybe you have written your work or your notes on a foolscap. You find that page 1 is here, page 2 is in the middle, page 4 is in, you can't find page 4. The reading materials have been arranged improperly completely. You become so demotivated to read such some notes or maybe such a book. The next what we call barrier to effective reading is learning disabilities. Now, these disabilities relate to a particular function of the brain, which controls speech, which control reading and writing demands. These are things like the Down syndrome, or cerebral palsy. This one you're going to check what is Down syndrome, what is cerebral palsy, blindness, among others. You cannot be able to read because of disabilities, among others. And these disabilities affect reading and learning. So the example includes the following. I want you to go and find out what is dyslexia. Dyslexia. I want you to go and find out what is dysgraphia and dysarthria. Dysarthria. So even it is explained here, dyslexia, the person has difficulties understanding the written words. Dyslexia is when the person has difficulties in understanding what has been written. Dysgraphia is the person has difficulties forming letters when writing. You don't know if you are writing there, what comes next. That is dysgraphia. Then we have dyscalculia. Dyscalculia, the person has difficulties understanding mathematics. That when you're told 1 + 3, you don't understand what it means. That is called dyscalculia. Dyscalculia. You have difficulties in understanding mathematics. Other barriers to effective reading also include lack of time. You don't have time to read. You are a worker. Wewe ni fundi wa mjengo, na tunajua fundi wa mjengo huwa wanaingia saa 2 asubuhi, wanamaliza kazi saa 11. Sisemi hiyo kazi ni mbaya. Nasema tu wewe, I'm trying to show you that you are busy the whole day. You don't have time to read. Once you get home, you are so tired. You have lifted what we call stones, bigger stones. You have done a lot of work. You are very tired. You don't have time to read. We also have reluctance. Reluctance ni kukaza kamba, ni kuregeza kamba. Unasema nitasoma tu. Reluctance and what we call these other one called what? Procrastination are almost the same, but they are not. Then lack of concentration. You go to the library, you cannot concentrate on what you are reading. Some of us will find ourselves in the same paragraph for the past 2 hours. Uko kwa the same paragraph. We also have finger reading. Those who read with their fingers pointed on the material that they are reading. That person will finger read, then repeat the same sentences like 100 times. That one is another barrier. And lack of concentration. Lack of concentration, you're not concentrating. Because when you are reading, you have to put all your thoughts, all your minds to the text that you are reading. Environmental barrier is another one. That is background noise. Maybe there is a construction that is going behind your reading room. Those are called background noise. Or maybe there are some animals that are making various noises in the environment, in the reading environment, or within the reading environment. Those are called background noise, or maybe children are making noise. Location, where you are. For example, you are located, or your reading room is facing the highway. Matatus and lorries are passing, they are hooting and so on and so forth. Location of the library. That's why you'll find that most of the libraries, including your high school libraries and your primary school libraries, they were located very far from classrooms. Located where there are maybe there were trees, because I believe that trees are good, they absorb noise. Libraries, places like public places, in short, we are talking about the location. The location. So from there, let's look at how do you improve your reading skills as a student. So improving your reading skills will reduce unnecessary reading. those people who goes to the library, you want to read, but you don't know what to read. You don't know which unit you're going to handle. If you're talking about communication skills, you cannot get to the library that day and finish reading everything that we have done for the past 7 weeks or for the past 6 weeks. So if you're going to read communication skills, you just decide, today I'm going to read communication skills and I'm going to target on 2 topics. I'm going to read on reading skills and I'm going to read on writing skills. Those are the only topics that I'm going to cover. So in other words, we are saying that it is good to improve your reading skills because it will reduce unnecessary reading time and it will enable you to read in a more focused and selective manner. Like if you go to the library, you'd have decided, or maybe when you're in a study room, you have decided to focus on 2 topics only. You will read on a selective manner and you'll be able to understand what you are reading. You will also be able to increase your level of understanding. When you focus on 2 topics, you are going to be more focused. You are going to be more, you are going to understand more as opposed to that person who is starting from page 1 to the last page. That person will not be able to focus and will not be able to understand, and concentration itapotea kwa sababu utakuwa unaangalia, nimeenda kusoma kitabu mzima ya communication skills. Unasoma 2 pages, alafu unaanza kucount zile ambazo umebakisha. So unasoma kumaliza, sio kusoma kufanya nini, kuelewa na kuconcentrate, something like that. So to improve your reading skills, you need to do the following. For you to improve your reading skills, you need to do the following. Number 1, have a clear reading goals. And reading goals can be, number 1, reading goals can be an essay or a seminar subject. Maybe you're going to do an essay or a seminar subject. Or you're going to look at a report brief or selected subject area. Maybe I'm going to do communication skills and I'll go on do a revision on reading skills only. That is a selected subject area. And a series of questions about a specific topic. Maybe there are some questions that you're asking yourself about a specific question. So about a specific topic. So that is how that's how you come up with what we call clear reading goals. Secondly, choose the right text. If you go to the library, for example, you're going to find that maybe you are reading, you are looking at a topic, but you are looking at maybe the various types of reading. That is extensive reading, or maybe you're looking at intensive reading, and so on and so forth. You must choose the right text. So you need to assess the kind of material that you are reading to see if it contains the information that you want. Like, for example, some of us, we even have Google. Some of us go to Google and you are only looking at, you don't read whatever you are copy pasting. And it is so irrelevant with the question that you've been given. So you need to assess the text to see if it contains information that is relevant to your reading goals. You also need to check the date of publication. Once you go to the library, or maybe you are reading some material, look when it was published. Some materials were published in 1986. 1986 mpaka 2021. Hiyo ni miaka ngapi? Some materials were published in 1902. Things are changing. So you need to check the date of publication. Is the information up to date? Read the publisher's blurb at the back or the inside sleeve for an overview of the content. Unapatanga mtu akienda kununua kitabu, lazima asome huko mwisho ya hiyo kitabu, huyu reader ni nani? Alafu anafungua hiyo kitabu, anaenda kwa table of content. Hii kitabu ina contain nini? Hii kitabu ilipublishiwa mwaka gani? Ndio hata wewe ukisoma, kwa sababu vitu ambazo zilitu affect, those things that affected or communication barriers in 1906 and 2021, they are totally different. Things have changed. If the text does not seem relevant, do away with it completely. Once you have selected a text, you can use the following techniques of scanning, skimming, and skimming to help you identify the areas for detailed reading. Number one, this is what you do. So you are being told that that once you have done what we call let me go back to point number 2. Once you have selected a text that you need to read, the following techniques of scanning and skimming helps you to identify areas for detailed readings. Number one, you are being told use the right reading style. You have gone to the library, you have identified a book, and you have identified what you're going to read. So what are you going to do? Number one, use the right reading style. So it is important to improve your reading skills than your reading speed. So be focused and selective on your reading habits. So being focused and selective in your reading habits will reduce the time you spend reading. For example, sometimes you go to the library, you are seated to a friend. You are focused on a particular text, but this friend of yours keeps showing you a conversation between him and his friend on WhatsApp. So those are some of the barriers. Even your friends can be the barriers to effective reading. So what you're supposed to do, keep off from that particular friend of yours. So the key to increasing your reading speed is not to increase the speed at which your eye moves across the page, but to increase the word span for a single fixation. So in other words, we are saying, sometimes you go to the library and you find yourself reading the same text thrice, 4 times, or you are taking more time reading a particular text. So you need to increase that particular reading speed. And to increase your reading speed is not necessarily to increase the pace at which your eye is moving across, but it is to increase the word span. You can see the words very fast and you can understand what the words means. Also, you are being told use note-taking techniques. When you go to the library, or maybe when you are reading for an exam, take notes. But by the way, we also talked about listening skills, and we said that a very good listener usually takes notes. So a very good reader also takes notes, because when you're taking notes, it means that you have gotten a very important point. So once you have selected useful information, you can begin to read it in details. Read it in details. Take notes. Because taking notes is a very good technique that provides a useful aid to reading. Then the last thing, in summary, we can say there are ways of improving your reading skills, and this includes number one. In summary, we are saying there are various ways of improving your reading skills to include the following. In summary, we are saying there are various ways to improve your reading skills, which includes the following. Number one, have a clear focus for your reading. That is, set your reading goals. When you go to the library, you have a clear focus. This is what I'm going to read. Even if I get a very good magazine there, even if I get a very good newspaper there, I will not focus on other materials. This is exactly what I'm going to do in the library. Number two, survey the text before you spend time and effort involved in detailed reading. In other words, when you get a book, look at what has been written. Look at the course content. Look at whether it is what you need, because you're going to spend a lot of time opening that book because in the first place you did not survey the text. Number three, scan and skim to select the text for detailed reading. Go through the text quickly to select the text for detailed reading. And then number four, we are being told scan and skim after detailed reading to reinforce your understanding. Once you have done the reading, go again, read it again, scan and skim, go again the text, go again through the text to ensure that you have understood clearly. And then use a form of note-taking. When you are reading, take notes. Use clear reading goals and a variety of reading skills, and also improve your reading. I think that marks the end of that particular question, that particular topic. Unless there is a question, I will stop at that point. So I don't know whether I will stop at that particular point unless there is a question. So it is question time. It's question time. Any question? If you have a question, you just ask the question. Ngoje nikuite jina. Kuna swali? Those who are joining us at this time, I said next week we are going to have cut one. Next week we are going to have cut one. And how the cut will look like for that one, the teacher will decide. So today's learning activity is reading. Read any other supplementary reading material outlining reading skills. Also, there is a discussion there. Discuss the points to bear in mind when preparing a PowerPoint presentation about the role of technology in communication. So when you're preparing a PowerPoint presentation, what are some of the consideration that you should put in mind? Then that one you're supposed to do a discussion forum, and then there is a quiz for you there. I don't know whether there is any question. Another question is, or another thing that I want to communicate is about the password for the register. Let me give you the password for the register or for the attendance register. The password is, let me copy paste it there, W1ERGO. Let me put it there on the forum. So that is the password. I'm also sharing it on WhatsApp. I'm sharing it on WhatsApp. I think I'm the first one to share there. So I've shared it on WhatsApp already. Yeah, I've shared it. So I don't know whether Tekla is here. I want to give you this opportunity to talk to my students. Tekla, are you around? So today we have a person from the library who needs to talk to you. Her name is Tekla. Let me confirm where she is. So that she can join us for this particular class. Kindly, dakika moja tu. Jerry, you have a question. Terry-Ann. Aya, suingia kwa hiyo meeting. Terry-Ann, you have a question? Kindly go ahead. Aya, umetoa mkono tena. Ama you are exploring Zoom. So we are waiting for Tekla. We are waiting for Tekla to join so that we can start. Once she joins, she'll be able to do what we call it means that Tekla, I mean this lady called Terry-Ann was exploring Zoom. So we are waiting for Tekla to join. I've already called her. She's joining. I've sent her the link, the password and everything. She'll be joining us shortly. She'll be joining us shortly. So the best thing about this class is that a majority of you, as we speak, you have been able to, you are good. You have been good and no, you have been good in this manner. You've been able now to take your register successfully. I was able to go through the register and I saw 100 and something are able to take their registers. For those who are still not being able to do that, ask your friends how they are doing it. Ask your friends how they are doing it. So we are still waiting for Tekla to join. I don't know that she is here. Tekla, if you are here, kindly say hi. Tekla, if you've joined the meeting, kindly say hi. We are so many of us. I'm going through all the names of the students who are here. Wahinyambogwa, you are saying that it is a wrong password. Wewe endelea kusema ni wrong password. Kwani nimeitoa wapi?
Good morning, Mr. David.
Tekla, welcome. We are waiting for you. We've done our class and
Yes.
the students are already waiting for you. Now, students, this is Madam Tekla. She works with the library. She has something to tell you for the remaining minutes. Our assignment will expire exactly at 12:30. Let me just say 12. So don't be in a hurry. I've already added you more time because I anticipated this will happen. So Tekla, welcome and feel free.
Thank you so much, Mr. David Maina. And for the students, I'm just here for not more than 8 minutes to show you how to access the library remotely. So I believe you are able to hear me and I'm going to project my screen. So for those who have never visited the library, I'm going to project the library portal. And the library, how do you get there? By simply clicking library.ztech.ac.ke, you'll be able to get to the portal. Kindly confirm from your side that you're able to see the portal.
We can see it, Tekla.
Thank you so much. So I'm just here because since you are online students, I'll not take you through a park and the rest. I'll simply ask you that at your own free time, you can go through the library policies, mission and vision, and also check on my app to see the available media books. So what I'm going to start with is how to access ebooks. These are electronic books only readable through electronic gadgets. Then to off-campus, how to access the resources off-campus, that is remotely away from the university. So I welcome one of my ambassadors, this is Martin, to take us through how to access the resources. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Tekla. And in accessing the resources, you have the ebooks and we use the database that we call the Library Genesis. So after clicking the Library Genesis, it will bring you to the search bar that gives you an opportunity to search a title of a book you want. Maybe kindly someone to give me your area of specialization. I search a book using that. Any title? Any title, please? Any title? Sorry, I'm not getting it. So I'm getting that well. So I will use any. So Yeah. So I'm getting what he's saying. I will use maybe, let me use finance. Finance. Then I search through. So you see, after searching, it will give you quite a number of results. So maybe I wanted the first one, maybe rules for computational finance. As just any book, it will give you the cover page of the book. Then you click on the cover page. After clicking on the cover page, you will see where it has written there, get. After clicking at get, so now it will download in your device and you will just read through in an electronic gadget as any book. So that is how we use the ebook in accessing. We use the library. We use the library Genesis to access ebooks. Another thing I'm taking you through is the off-campus, and in off-campus, so for you to access the off-campus or to access the digital resources or the digital library remotely, you must have an account, and I will be shortly texting in your chat what you should be sending for us for you to have the login credentials. In this case, I will log in with my account. Of course, you will have the username, then you will have the password. So after putting in the login credentials, it will load and take me now to the homepage of the off-campus address. So a minute to it opens. Just a minute, it loads. So the internet is becoming a challenge. Yeah. So then, yeah, let me open using my login credentials. So now this is the homepage of the off-campus, and the resources, you have the database, you have the journals and the ebooks. So I will demonstrate using the databases. And demonstrating using the databases, there are many. We have about 21 in number, and I will use Emerald as an example to demonstrate. So the first thing, after clicking into Emerald, it will bring you to the homepage where it will allow you to search through. Maybe I want an article in communication strategy. Want an article in communication strategy. So I just search through it. Then you can see it's about 1,700 results. Those are quite many. So you can, I want like the first one. So after clicking the title, it will allow you to browse through. Then if you want to download, you just click on the PDF. After clicking on the PDF, it will allow you to save it in your device, and you will have acquired your article from Emerald Insights. So I'm texting you on what you should be sending to us on your chat section.
I hope that was clear from Mr. Martin. So what you can do is you can send us your name, your registration number, your code, and phone number to elibrary@ztech.ac.ke. I hope from the chat you're able to see that. So once you send the details, you'll be able to register in, then you'll be able to access the library remotely, just the way Martin has shown you. And is there any question? As you prepare to ask questions, Mwalimu, back to you, Mr. David. I really appreciate your time. Back to you, Mwalimu. Students, do you have the question?
Adile. Maina hata kuelewa sasa bwana.
So even Mwalimu, as Mwalimu comes back, amefunza haraka.
Hatujaelewa.
Hujaelewa? Tutairudia in the next class.
Kwa hiyo.
Ama ukuje library physically ni kufunza on one. Is that okay?
Oh, sawa.
Yes. So thank you very much. You can come to the library so that I can show you. You can even come as a class so that I can show you on a one-on-one basis. So thank you very much. I don't know where your Mwalimu is.